Please remember, the views and opinions expressed by this show or any other show on DV Radio and its guests are strictly those of said individuals and do not reflect those of the DV Radio staff nor the staff of Dysfunctional Veterans.
I'm Nevermore, and I'm not normally this pleasant sounding.
I'm Frosty, and I'm just a frozen asshole.
And that's right, you got DV Oink who loves to play and shit. I mean, no, wait a minute, hold on.
And they really didn't name y'all asshole 1 and 2?
That's what the boss calls us.
2 people remember me and one's vote's mom.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
You were a little bit soggy.
Boiled bacon.
That's right.
And I'd like to introduce DV Midnight Backdoor for all your backdoor needs.
You know what that means.
We will talk really slow for you.
I don't know, some of those nights at work.
That's a different little bird.
Welcome to Frag Out, Drag Out. And welcome to Frag Out, Drag Out with your hosts Nevermore, Bacon Grease, and Snow Cone. Actually, it's Oink and Frosty, but I'm just going to make up names for each and every show until I run out of ideas. Anyway, how you folks doing?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Doing good.
So, we've done a couple of shows now, and we haven't really did any of those offensive, hard-hitting, expose type of deals. So I'm going to declare tonight's Frag Out, Drag Out a special episode. Before I get into that, the whole purpose, and I'm going to give my hosts their due here in a second, but I actually created this show, and I've been working on the concept for about 8 months. It took me forever just to get a name. I wanted to do something that not anybody's doing that I've heard, because, you know, I don't go around listening to like every single podcast that was ever out there, but something I haven't heard. And I like the topics that nobody wants to discuss. Like nobody. You see it. You hear whispers about it. Just, I don't know if they just don't want the drama or they're scared that people aren't going to follow them. But the great thing about the three of us is we don't care. Nobody's, if you listen to us, great. If you don't, we're still going to keep recording. It's like no skin off our back. So with that, we're going to turn tonight's show over to Frosty.
Frag out.
Yeah.
So, something that's kind of been bugging me the last week or so, I was asked to...
Turn your mic up a little bit, bro.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can figure this.
Get closer, get intimate.
How's that?
Make love to the mic.
I don't know, because Piggy won't shut up.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things that I was asked to do was preview some other podcasts, and I kind of took it as another mission so that we could try and avoid the same topics that have been beaten to the death by all the other podcasts and pages and everything. And I started noticing kind of a theme that all these veteran groups are looking at each other as competition, which in a way it is a little bit, but they're always trying to tear down everybody else. And, you know, in order to reach, we all have similar goals. And in order to, which is to basically bring that number of the 22 veteran suicides a day down to 0, and helping our homeless brothers and all those other things to help other veterans. And all we're doing is tearing each other apart while we're trying to do this, instead of joining in together and trying to reach this goal where it's going to take all of us, whether it's the big multi-million-dollar companies or the little social media page that only has a couple dozen followers. We're all trying to make this mission possible, and that's about the only way to do it, is we all have to come together and kind of look at each other as like the different branches of service. Mm-hmm. You know, we all have our own mission overall. I mean, but together we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So
you mean you can sit there and argue and pick on one another, but we can also support one another at the same time? No fucking way.
Exactly. I mean, it's
I'm gonna jump in real quick. Even if we don't per se support, all right, I'm gonna just say, because I promised that when I did this show there would not be name drops, individuals, groups, whatever. But if Group A and Group B don't get along, Group A and Group B should just ignore the shit out of each other. You don't need to publicly bash. You want to bitch about them in private, do what you need to do. But there seems to be this problem where we can't be grown-ups and just say, okay, so Oink's over there. Oink's mission is comedy, which is still helpful. My mission is I'm going to be a counselor. I'm going to do suicide prevention. But I don't like Oink's style. I think it's too much dark humor, or it's too political, or it's too this. So now I'm going to take away from my mission, and I'm going to start posting about Oink nonstop. There is no fucking point. We have literally broken ourselves down into little baby high school cliques who all have the same common goal. Same as high school. We all just want to fucking graduate and get the hell out of there.
I was just gonna say that it's like high school all over again. What the hell?
It literally is. We want to make fun of people that aren't like us, but we're being exactly like them. Everything that we make fun of, we have become. And normally we don't pre-plan these shows because we kind of like to do it in the now. That way, it's not over discussed or anything. But this one is sad. We've sat on this one a couple of days just because of all of the crap we've seen. And we're going to give examples throughout it because, like I said, this is Frosty's, and I'm not trying to run over Frosty. But for God's sakes, if you don't like them, don't like them. Who the fuck cares? But why in the hell do we have to just? It's like if you're wearing the wrong label, you're bad. If you take the approach this way, you're wrong. If you want to do push-ups, you get made fun of. You know what? What the fuck does it matter? What happened to minding your own damn business? Keep on with your mission. Because if you put as much effort into hating, I don't know how you're getting your mission done.
Makes perfect sense. Like you said, as long as they're getting a positive vibe out there in support for military, the veterans, or military-ran organizations, whatever. I don't care how you do it. Just do it. But to sit there and take time away from, Group A's mission and to call their mission statement or whatever they're doing is stupid or retarded, or you shouldn't be doing that because it's bringing a negativity. You know what? It's just like bad media attention. When it's out there and people are talking shit and stuff's happening, guess what? It's still media attention. And if you actually take the time, instead of just looking at the surface of the label of whatever it is you're looking at, and talk to somebody from that organization, well, why do you call it this, or why do you call it that, or why are you doing push-ups? Maybe you might just open your mind up a little bit. Maybe you might learn something for once.
And before everybody jumps the bandwagon, goes, oh my God, they're just defending DV. This isn't just about DV. We know there's been some slander to the DV. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about as an entire community. And it's not even just groups. It's literally, there are individuals that sit around and do nothing all day but knock other veterans. I have seen it in person, and I'm like, so you lead such a miserable life that instead of coming in here and saying something positive and uplifting, it always is negative. You can about pick them out in every group. Always fucking something negative. What happened to it, and I hate to break it down Barney style, but watch the fucking movie Bambi, okay? Thumper's mother. What do we say, Thumper? If you haven't got something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Is it that fucking hard to be a grown-up and just keep going? Apparently it is, because I watch it.
Yeah,
see it every day.
You do. And it takes all different types of groups to make this happen, because no one group of us is going to reach everybody, whether it's because of our resources or our area or how we focus our support. It's going to take all of us, from, as I've been saying frequently lately, from the dark humor to the ones with it preaching candy corn and unicorn farts. I mean, it's going to take all types.
It's puzzling to me, because now, and I pre-discussed this with the group that I'm about to mention, this is not in a negative light. If you don't know where Nevermore came from, Nevermore used to help at a humongous page, disgruntled vets. I left due to medical reasons. There was nothing negative. There's nothing like that. But I have noticed that when people leave groups that they worked for, short time, long time, anytime, that they immediately turn it into, to gain attention to their new project, they immediately start putting down the place they came from. And over at Disgruntled, the reason that I know so much about this topic is we had a rule about fire missions, and we also weren't the stolen valor police. And one of the reasons we didn't do a fire mission, any fire missions, is because, yeah, it's all cute and all to take a picture of some private in a jacked up uniform. But instead of taking that picture and posting it all over social media, did you go correct that private and try to help them out? No. You took a picture, and now you've went to every major veteran page in hopes that somebody will fucking put it up there. And it's sad as shit to watch people just, I mean, that is what we've become. We have become those literal people that they have nothing better to do. They just sit around all day and they want to tear us down and blah, blah, blah. We're doing it to ourselves. We're the most divided community out there right now, especially in the social media world. The most divided community. And that's not easy to say when you got liberals and you've got AOC and you've got some dumb shit going on. But we're our own worst enemy. And we're not even talking about just the 22. It's like you can go to any group on any given day, any group that has vets in it, and somebody can post, I had a bad day, blah, 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 blah happened, you know, and I don't want to quote because I don't want somebody to go, oh my God, she's talking about my post. But, you know, something happened in the family or this or this or this, and there's always a handful. And it's like they want to be professional trolls. That's great, but there's a time and a place for that. When somebody's hurting, it's not really the time and place. And you'll see them say, suck it up or just get over it or blah, blah, blah. But on the other hand, you also have those ones, and I said this today, being triggered on your PTSD, and by the way, I hate that fucking word, is not an excuse to be a dickhead. Just because something set you off does not mean you get to turn around and be a cocksucker to somebody else. If you're that bad, do like I said, grown-ups people, when something pisses me off beyond all reason, I walk away. I turn it off, walk away, and I leave it the fuck alone instead of turning it into, like, you know, a 47-line post that turns into a shit show. We're killing our own selves. And I don't mean like suicide. I'm talking about we are literally the most damaging to the veteran community. Oh, well, I can't like you because you're wearing this label and that label makes us look like this and this and this. Leave them the fuck alone. Who gives a shit? What? Okay, you're saying that one person is causing the entire United States and the entire world to have a negative view on veterans? And no. Any civilian can walk into a veteran group and be like, oh my God. And I'm not even talking about the humor. I'm talking about look at how they put each other down. And I'm not talking about, you know, I got a crayon eater on my show. I'm not talking about making fun, picking, you know, I got bacon grease and flying in his little coin-operated airplane. I'm talking about we are vicious. I'm not talking these people, well, I'm savage. No. You're being a cunt. And I don't use that word lightly. Bo, don't edit that out because I meant to say it this time. Don't be deep or crack me.
It's one of those where it goes beyond the banter, the humor, the friendly rivalry stuff to just being malicious and vicious. It's horrible. And
it gets freaking old.
It does. It really does.
And nothing's gonna. I control. Well, we control the Frag Out, Drag Out page. I control the original Nevermore page, and I help with a couple of others. And I can control not allowing that to be in there. And people say, well, it's impossible. Yeah, I'm in a group that's not tremendously huge, but there's a lot in there. And yeah, it takes more work and more effort and more admins, but it's pretty well controlled. They understand. You do a fire mission, I'm turning you off. If you start your bullshit, I'm muting you. There is a list of consistency. And don't forget, Facebook is regulating it so hard now that if a member posts something and it goes sideways, the people who own and admin the group actually get docked for it. And it's not about censorship. It's about just because you are one doesn't mean you get to be this, and I see it every day. Well, I'm a vet, so I get to be like that. No, you don't. We're all humans. Just because nowhere in, I don't know about y'all's oaths, maybe y'all took different ones, did it say, blah, 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 uphold the oath, but after I get out, I get to do what the fuck I want. You will respect my entitlement. I didn't sign up for fucking discounts. I didn't sign up so that when I got out, I could walk around and be like, oh my God, stolen valor, you're wearing BDU pants. Motherfucker probably got them at a yard sale and likes to go hunting in the bitches. Really? We really have to go that? How many times has stolen valor turned out to be, ooh, you just made an asshole of yourself and really insulted a Vietnam vet?
More often than I can think of to count.
Now, is stolen valor a real thing? Yes.
Yeah. It
is. But leave it to the professionals. There's an actual page called Stolen Valor where they actually research. Listen to me very careful. They don't judge it off of a picture that somebody decided they were going to post because they were butthurt in the moment. They actually research. And if these people, and they've actually gotten people like charged for running fake nonprofits and this and this and this. There are people that do that for a living. Let them do that. You are not the Stolen Valor police. Matter of fact, we're going to be the dickhead police, because I'm not going to keep sitting by and watching people tear each other down. If that's what your group's going to become, you might as well just kiss your group goodbye, because Facebook's going to shut it down.
What gets me is that, when you look at the numbers, and numbers, you can say whatever the hell you want. But going back to like 2015, over 1.29 million people were actually serving in the active duty. That's less than 0.5% on active duty. That's 2015 stats, and there's other numbers that are out there right now. And if you look, total people that have served, only 7%, just a little bit above 7% of the U.S. population has ever served in the military. So when you talk about a minority group within minority groups, I mean, we've had every race, creed, color, you name it, religion in the military. And at that time we're serving together, we've always had each other's backs. But now, for some odd reason, as soon as you're out, as soon as you take that uniform off, we're stabbing each other in the back. I don't get it. I mean, it amazes me.
Well, let's step back to when we served. I know it was all, different eras, different whatever. But when we were in Air Force was a flight, whatever. But when you were in your platoon, your flight, whatever it was called, your group, you knew the Blue Falcon. You knew the buddy fucker, and you knew the one that at the end of the day was going to screw the entire squad, platoon, whatever over. And that person didn't have friends. They didn't have help. They didn't have people covering for it. But the other 99%, if your boy was running late for its PT, you covered their ass. If you knew room inspections were coming, and the way the Air Force was set up is if they left their door unlocked, you could go through the other room. If they did something like that and you knew they were going to be docked, you ran over real quick and fixed it. We were more about supporting each other, but the minute we get out, it's like something else clicks. And it's like, and I have a friend, and I'm not gonna say from where, but wants to shut down what he started because a group that he helped when they got started promote has turned against him. They've actually turned against everybody. I helped this group too. And it was all, hey, help share me, help share me, help share me, help share me. Okay. Then when the return favor come and my buddy lost his group and had to rebuild, it's silence. They're talking shit about him. And I'm like, when did we become those people? Because when I was in, Blue Falcons, they were there. But the Blue Falcons were so isolated, they didn't have any friends. They didn't have anybody. And even like the higher ups were like, you did this to yourself. It's your fault that you're stuck over here in the corner and not invited to the barracks party. Because they knew if you came that, the entire squad was going down. It just, when did that change? When did that honor and integrity and respect die?
That loyalty,
There is no loyalty.
There isn't.
And I tell my buddy all the time, don't give up, because there's still a few of us left. And yeah, we might talk shit in private, because stuff's always going to get under your skin. Somebody may post something and you'd be like, oh my God, what the hell were they thinking? But to publicly go after them because of it or even report it. Now, I'm not saying some things don't deserve what they get, but 99% of the time you just walk away like pull up your pants and move on. Another thing that's getting really bad that I've seen, there are a lot of groups that help when they see somebody in trouble. Now, in these like little closed groups, they don't really, admins kind of can't come forward because then they're an admin because it's your name shows. But there are groups that will step in and take care of said person. So, like, if it's our Frag, I'm going to use us as examples and just make up names so that I'm not giving away shit. But say our Frag Out, Drag Out page. We're there for a radio show, comedy, whatever, truth bomb, but we're not really there as a help group. If you reach out, you're not going to be ignored. You're going to be referred. Okay? So we're going to refer you to Group A. Again, trying to keep this civil. But I have noticed that Group C sees that we are referring them. So Group C starts poaching and trying to take these people. All right, I get it. You want to help, but the way to help is to make sure that you're not overwhelming said vet in distress. And I've seen other groups, they just want the recognition for, oh, well, I helped save a vet. So they're literally stealing brothers and sisters in distress because they want to look good. When did that become a fucking thing? Who cares how many lives you've saved? As long as you keep saving them.
Yeah, it's like Facebook likes. Ooh, I got 13 likes today. Who gives a shit? I mean, but I know what you're saying. It's become a competition, and it's the wrong type of competition.
But and in the same regard, there's also some groups that you will reach out to and be like, hey, Oink is in distress. Okay, but if any other groups are trying to help, we're not going to step in. And my response literally was, so you'd rather see the brother die. As long as that group's in there, I'm not going to. What the fuck? Your whole mission is to stop the 22, but because somebody from a opposing, which y'all shouldn't be fucking opposing, you should be on like I said, all on the same team doing your own thing. If you don't like the way they do it, you don't like their style, who fucking cares as long as they're not getting people killed? Now, I get it. If some new group starts up and they're doing more harm than good, by all means, get them shut down. I get it. It's not something you just walk into and go, oh, well, I think today I'm just going to start talking vets out of suicide. Guy's got a gun in his mouth, so I'm just going to try. That's not how that you can. I'm all for the people that voluntarily step in because they don't see anybody else reaching out. That's great. But to sit there and say you will not help because an opposing team who has the same mission is trying to reach out, you're going to literally let them commit suicide. I have seen it happen. I have screenshots. Unfortunately, I cannot share them out in the public because that would shame that group. But I've seen the screenshots. I have seen it fucking happen. How sad is that? That two people with the same mission, one of them would let, both of them most likely would let that person suffer because of egos. Because that's all it is, people. All these likes and all these credit and all these recognitions ain't nothing but your fucking ego. You heard it, you don't like it, then go. If this show bothers you in the least little bit, you might want to go take a long, hard look in the mirror and are you one of the people we're talking about? Because we haven't mentioned any names. We've literally danced around all of that for a reason. Because it's in every group. No one's perfect. Things happen and egos do sometimes get in the way. But it's how the group recoups from that ego. Do they continue down that path or can they, as somebody say, and I've even done it. I did it at Disgruntled, and I would have to take a step back and say, my ego's getting in the way of my mission. Somebody else, I would call my brother and I'd be like, can you take over? My ego just got in the way and I saw it.
Well, kind of along those same lines, what happens if a group jumps in and all of a sudden they realize that they're in over their head or this brother's in a different area and they don't have the correct resources, so you try and pass it on because another group might be more equipped to help that person. Why would you turn them away?
I'm a big fan of, if I can help you, I don't care. If I hate that group with a fucking passion and will not go to their group for love nor money, but I know they can save this vet, guess what? I'm going to swallow my ego. I'm going to swallow my pride, and I'm going to message them and say, I got somebody in trouble. I need your help. Exactly. Not everybody can say that. And it's really bothersome because this isn't just even about the 22. This is about, and it's a running joke, and no, this is not directed about DV because there are a million t-shirt companies out there, but they're like, it's just another t-shirt company. But have you ever went behind the scenes and looked to see what the t-shirt company does? I know a t-shirt company. They're not well known, but they're out there, who donate almost all of their profit. They keep just enough to keep the business going. So basically they're getting their paycheck, their bills paid, and all of that fucking money goes to veteran charities. But people despise them because they don't like what's on the shirt. And no, I don't mean DV. I have been, like I said, I come from disgruntled. I have been all over the United States in veteran groups or with, connections and this and this and this and this. So it's not like I'm just speaking because you can look at our page, 23 views or 100 likes. That doesn't mean that they do or don't know what they're doing. The amount of likes, that's literally what life's based on right now. And it's pathetic. We've got some people that probably have turned us off at this point because the truth hurts.
I knew when I selected this topic it was going to be a rough one.
But here's the thing.
It needs to be out there.
I'm not going to shame anybody for trying. If you start a group with every intention of helping and you only have 10 likes, but you have done more for your community than a page with 2 million likes, then I'm never going to knock you for trying. I'm not going to make fun of you for only having 10 likes. I'm one of those that say you can get online and you can talk a good game, but how many of you out there that do this on the group A and group B and group C can say you've got out and you've walked the streets and helped a homeless person, or that you have been in somebody's face-to-face? Because let me tell you, suicide prevention online versus suicide prevention in person, let me tell you, I'm trained in both, and it's not easy. I told the story on Disgruntled, all right, and I'm going to go ahead, and even though I hate this word, trigger warning, but I'm going to go tell the story. I work at Walmart. There was a vet, well, he wasn't even a vet, active duty. It was guard weekend. Well, so I should say guard, excuse me. Holding a little baby. I walk by, and this man just loses his liver over shit in the middle of a store, just crying, about drops the baby. And I walk over and I'm like, dude, do you need some help? Is everything okay? Let's just say I ended up in the floor holding a baby with a grown man in uniform crying his eyes out because 2 weeks before that, the mom had died with the baby being born. Brother lost it. Trying to talk to somebody in person, it's not easy. But how many of you from group A, B, and C who I got no recognition for that, and I don't want any. I didn't post about it. Didn't do it for that reason. I didn't get any likes for it. I didn't video it to post. Nobody knew but me and this vet and the management team because I told them I needed some privacy. So me and this vet went into a corner of the store and they kind of blocked it for us. How many of you do it when the cameras are off or the likes aren't rolling or whatever? How many of you can do that? How many of you can even say you've done it? And I'm not talking to my two hosts. I'm talking to everyone out there. How many of you can say that you, and I'm not saying money, but it's the expression. How many of you can put your money where your mouth is? How many of you can say you've actually went out there and done it? And it doesn't have to be suicide prevention. Ever fed a homeless vet? Ever gotten one off the streets? Ever took one to rehab? Ever confronted one and let them know, hey, dude, you're not getting any better like this. with that, while everybody ponders on that, we have to take a short break due to commercials and all that good stuff. When we come back, we're going to finish this lovely conversation. At the end, I'll talk about my sponsors. We'll be right back. By the way, we are on DV Radio, brought to you by WDVR. I forgot that in the beginning, so sorry, Bo, but this topic has been eating at us for a while now. So with that, we'll be right back.
DV Radio.
You're listening to Dead Air on DV Radio. Go fuck yourselves, assholes.
Ever shop online at smile.amazon.com? Why not give back to the DV Farm by making it your charity of choice? No extra fees or hidden costs, and a portion of your purchase goes directly towards the DV Farm, located in Gilsum, New Hampshire, and helping to continue its mission. That's smile.amazon.com, and be sure DV Farm is your charity of choice. For more information about the DV Farm, please go to dvfarm.org.
All right, welcome back to Frag Out, Drag Out. Now, we've been in a pretty rough topics. We're not done with it, but I am going to take a few minutes because there are people we need to thank that have helped support the show. They do sponsor us. I am going to say, for all intensive purposes, we don't make a dime off of this show. We have used it to donate all to DV Radio. That was a decision that was jointly made by the three of us that are doing the show. But we are sponsored by K-Bar Soap Company. You can find badass soap that's in the shape of a badass grenade, hair care products. There is a knife hand, which is for a balm for your hands, beard products. You can find them. They have a website, but the easiest place is to go to K-Bar Soap Co. On Facebook. They have a shop button. Great. And then our other sponsor, the name has changed because that page took a big hit with likes and stuff. And I'm not the likes we were talking about, but just trying to build, because they're kind of like us and say what the hell they want. They have got silenced a little bit, so it is NFG Vets now. He has a Facebook page. It's not a business yet. They are working towards a nonprofit so that they can help vets. It's not going to, I don't know if what their future plans are, other than they are trying to become a nonprofit. They are in the North Carolina area, so they're probably going to start local and build from there. Great dude. Goes by call sign Bacon. A really great friend of mine. So those are our two sponsors. I do want to give a shout out to one of my favorite little dudes, who happens to be the son of Sidewinder, who is the owner of K-Bar Soap Company. 12-year-old with his awesome business. 12-year-old, y'all hearing me, right? 12-year-old started his business. I love this little dude because of his drive. He learned it from his father. Got to meet that Marine, because at work ethics, hellacious. But little 12-year-old, he hasn't picked his call sign, and I'm not going to use his real name, but Flame On Candle Co. You can find them on Facebook. We are not sponsored by the 12-year-old. Let me put that out there. But little dude will be hella excited that we put out his candles there. A couple of the scents are black powder, which is gunpowder, walk the plank, which is sandalwood and patchouli. He has campfire, which is campfire. And he's got high octane, which is race fuel. There might be some more. I told little dude that his dad wasn't allowed to help, that he needed to write me a sales thing so that once in a while I could talk about it. I do know that Frosted Flakes ordered a couple of candles, so in a couple of weeks he'll be able to tell us what they're like. Give us a review.
And on that, they're also available on the K-Bar Soap Co. webpage.
Oh, awesome. See, I did not know that. I know he sells them through Etsy, but I didn't. It's easier if you just go through the Facebook pages because they have shop links, but he is on K-Bar Soap Co. So
I ordered some candles, and then I went to order some more soap, and they were available there. And it's like, oh, I wish I would have known that before I ordered.
But I got to give props to any motivator, and K-Bar is one of I know most veterans are that have their own business, but I actually know this dude. I've been with him since the start of his journey. I actually discovered him on when I worked for Disgruntled, and I think it's going on 2 years now. Is it 2 years? Maybe 2 years? Almost 2 years, somewhere in there. But I've been with him since his startup days, and I have not used a store-bought bar of soap since. I stopped the body wash, all of that, because not only is it a good product, but I do like to support veteran businesses, but his shit's so worth it. If it wasn't a good product, I wouldn't keep buying it. So, yeah. So, there's our sponsors. Now, this show, at this time that we're recording, we do not know what days and times that we're airing, so I'm not going to put that on there. We do have a Facebook page now. It's just Frag Out, Drag Out. After this show, there should be a promo code for K-Bar Soap Co. You will only be able to get this promo code. It will not be typed anywhere in the world. If you want the promo code, you will have to actually listen to a show. It will be put in each show at random times. So don't be like, I can just get to the end because they're going to announce it or it's going to be at the beginning. None of that. Now, if there are people out there that would like to sponsor us, we have emails. I just can't fucking remember them right now. I know Oink has one, so you can send it to his and he can tell you what it is.
That's right. You can send any kind of information if you want, whether it's for Frag Out, Drag Out, DV Radio, whatever it is, to Oink at dvradio.net. Again, that's Oink at dvradio.net. Besides doing the Frag Out, Drag Out, I try to help Bo as much as I can with administrative as well as Frosty. So we get tasked quite a bit, and, we're happy to help Bo because he's busier than a one-legged mule in the ass-kicking contest, let me tell you.
And he can't even use his legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Full disclosure, because I don't have a problem with that, all three of us help and basically work for DV Radio. My title over there is producer, because I do have this knack for helping produce other radio shows. If that is something that you're interested in and wanting to, I'd like to start a veteran podcast. I just don't know how. I am more than happy to help with that. I will help get you started. You still have to go through the proper channels over at info@dvradio.net. You will still have to do promos. You will still have to bank what we call bank shows, which means have spare shows because, just like us, and that's what we're trying to do now, shit happens. People take vacations, We've got two hosts in Alaska who here in another month or two are going to be asleep during recording time. Like Nevermore may be getting up at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to record shows. We're going to make it work. I don't care if we have to turn it into a fucking lunch break and I have to take lunch when they take lunch at 2 a.m. and figure it out. We're going to make this show work because I've not found two hosts that got what we wanted to do more than these two. And they're not chicken shits. I did a radio show for Disgruntled, but I was not the owner of Disgruntled. So I had to play by their rules, and I don't have a problem with that. If they didn't want politics, then I didn't talk about politics. And everybody has their own thing. On that note, everything that is said by the three of us is not the opinions of any DV Radio. Just because we are staff over there does not mean that DV Radio is the ones telling us what to say. This show, Frag Out, Drag Out, is specifically Nevermore, Oink, and Frosty. These are our opinions. You can like them, you can don't like them. If you made it this far, then you're a tough son of a bitch and you don't get easily offended. That's all I'm going to say. Now, we would love if people want things discussed that nobody else talks about or are afraid to talk about. Don't put it in chat when this airs. I read the chat, but it's easy to miss something when things are, and depending on what day of the week it is, it may be Frosty that's attending. It may be Oink that's attending. It may be me. It may be all three of us. It may be a combination. Some days there may be none of us. And I have PTS Dog fill in for me and watch the chat, because that's part of the community that we're in. DV Radio, PTS Dog, Nevermore, Frag Out, Drag Out. we all work together, whether our missions, our meanings, or anything are the same. We work together and support each other. And I wish more did it like that. But you can message Frag Out, Drag Out. We did turn on the message box. If you send memes, I'm probably going to go ahead and just tell you right now, I don't care. I'm not a meme. We're going to have memes, but I'm not a meme page for that. I see all of them. I steal all of them. You can't send a meme that I ain't seen unless you just freshly made it. You want to make a meme for Frag Out, Drag Out, you're going to have to compete with Frosty anyway, because he doesn't want the credit, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. He came up with all of our art. It's brilliant. Yes, a Marine. He didn't.
I had a little bit of help, and it took 4 boxes of crayons, but that's...
He literally sent me the first one in crayon, and I kept it because I fucking love the first design in crayon. Now...
And I had some help getting that one to a regular, usable version.
Yeah, it was only in 4 colors because he ate the others, but
yeah.
It's...
If you go to our Frag Out, Drag Out page, you will see the art, and you also see that he made each of the hosts their own little round patch, which I've got a special idea coming soon for that. Again, I'm not going to reveal that secret yet, but I am going to talk to my boys after the show and see if they like my idea or not, and we'll go from there. But Frag Out, Drag Out's going to be more than just let's sit down and talk for an hour. I think as the show's going, you're going to see that it is different. I've heard a lot of different veteran podcasts. I love them. Like, Honorable Discharge. I love Ron Ripley. I love his shit. He's got his own unique style. It's not for everybody, but I just love that he says what the fuck's on his mind in his own unique way. There are a bunch of other shows. If you go to the DV Radio page, he has made a post, and we also put it on the Frag Out page of all the things that are coming. There's a lot of new stuff coming, not just us. That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But now, do you guys have anything on the business side or anything you want to discuss before we go back to the harsh topic? Because I do like to take breaks and give people time to refresh. And is there anything we wanted to talk about in our messages that we didn't get to yet? So is there anything y'all want to talk about before that? By the way, I want to know who put the sprinkler out in the yard for the moose. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, they've been all over town that way. But one thing that I want to add there is, and hit on it, if you have a topic you want us to sit there and hash out, destroy, frag out, whatever, message us. We'll love to try and take on something that you guys are interested in, not just what we can come up with.
And I'm going to jump on that one too. So far, we've all agreed on the topics. There is going to come a time when I may say something and Oink and Frosty do not agree. But we have agreed that we're not going to let our egos, our feelings get the better of it, and we're going to argue, and I won't even call it argue, discuss both sides of it, okay? So if there is something and you're like, I don't want to cause y'all to fight or blah, 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 it doesn't matter. We're grown-ups, and at the end of the day, when the record button stops, we're all still going to be pals.
We have to go off and pout for a little while, but we'll make up.
It may get heated, and it may upset one to the point where they're like, okay, guys, I get you, but we're going to hear each other regardless. See, that's a lot of our community's problems. We always talk, but we don't listen. And there will be things that I'm going to be like, ew, see, I don't like that. And I'm going to say it. I'm not going to sit back and be quiet about it. I'm going to express my opinion. And at the end of the night, when the record button stops and I'm done, I may say, Oink, that really pissed me off, so I'll talk to you tomorrow. But at the end of all this, we're still going to stay together. This is not going to be a show. Nothing you can do to any three of us unless one of the three of us decide to stab the other two in the back, which I wouldn't be working with Blue Falcons. And they're done that. and no, I'm not referring to disgruntled before people get upset. I have helped a lot of veterans get started in a lot of places, and 95% of them are ungrateful, and pretty much after they got what they needed, they were done. It's not going to happen over here. Send us your worst, because I bet you we either make a joke of it. You know, it's like that Marine meme. Put a Marine in the room with a steel ball. He'll either break it, lose it, or fuck it. We're going to do one of the three to the topic, okay?
That's true.
I mean, I ain't even joking. We'll destroy it one way or another. They don't let us three have nice things, okay? I mean, any given day, I mean, like, I'm looking through our messages to see if there's anything that we possibly wanted to hit on, and I'm looking at bacon dancing right now. I mean, really? And I can't read this because then I'll accidentally blurt out names, because in our private, this is private, so before anybody goes, you just said, no, we have a chat that's just the three of us. I don't even put the one that records for me. Bo's not in it. Nobody on DV Radio, none of our friends. It's just for the three of us to brainstorm, do what we want to do. There's no reason for anybody else to be in there. That way we can discuss, because, something did happen the other day. Something got posted. I came in and I said, hey, no offense, but we're not going to support that because they don't support the community as a whole. And that's what turned it. And Frosty already had this idea, but he's like, now that you've said this, I want to do this on Frag Out, Drag Out. So, like I said, we try not to pre-plan, because I found out that if you do a topic, you discuss the fuck out of it before it gets there. And then when it's time to record, you ain't got nothing to say.
And actually with this topic, I was kind of doing that because I've been hashing this out for probably 2 weeks now and trying to figure out how to phrase it and say it. And when I got started, it was, okay, where do I go?
And he's actually written something about this, and I actually spoke to Bo today, and this will be Frosty's choice, whether it'll be under Frag Out, Drag Out, or under his own. But we are, and I'm not much of a writer, so I'm just going to tell you, I'll probably cheat and tell what words I need, and JJ will probably write it for me, because he's the author, not me. JJ from PTS Dog, whatever. But what I'm wanting to do is you're going to have to help me out, Oink. I'm blanking. Over at DV, they have the
DVR Thoughts.
There you go, buddy.
Community of together where hosts like ourselves or other contributors, other veterans get together and they write about certain topics. Whatever it be, PTS dogs, service dogs in general, to straight up, what we're talking about tonight. The veteran community stabbing each other in the back. It's a forum to where people can get their thoughts out, and some people actually wrote in and asked us to discuss certain things. So same thing, by all means, if you have a topic and you want to read about it, let us know.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, I wrote this little essay about it, and it was mostly me trying to get my thoughts in order so I could approach it in a logical manner. And next thing I know, I had 2 pages written out and went, holy crap, I think this needs to go on DVR Thoughts at the same time we broadcast this show.
Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be up to Frosty, because one thing you'll see about, yes, I came up with this show, but I have tried to, instead of just, because the original thought was Nevermore presents Frag Out, Drag Out. And finding hosts was really, really difficult. They either wanted it so that they could get famous, or they wanted it so they could do their thing. And I'm like, if you want to do your thing, do your own show. But what I've tried to do with the three of us, and Frosty is the world's worst for it, bless his heart. He sent his entire thing to us. Any thoughts? What should I edit? And we're like, no, it came from you, bro. It's yours. But one of the things we try to do is not put pressure that, okay, well, this has to be for Frag Out, or this has to be that. But if Frosty would like, and Bo's already agreed, we will have a Frag Out, Drag Out DVR Thoughts section of its own. Doesn't mean it'll just be us three writing. If you send in something, hey, I heard your show and this is a topic and this is why I want you to discuss it, and you say it's okay, we're probably, when we discuss that show, going to throw what you wrote. And if you do send us something, if you go by a call sign, tell us what your call sign is. If you don't want your name, you need to say, hey, I don't want my name, because we won't know. If you want credit, please say, hey, my name's Billy Bob. Please give credit to Billy Bob. If you're another group, another page, like PTS Dog, for instance, and you send us in something, just let us know, because we don't want him to overstep and kill privacy. But at the same time, we don't want to be like, well, Frag Out, Drag Out came up with that. Oh, it's all us. I try to give credit where credit's due. This show's probably going to run a little longer than our normal. Our timekeeper is letting us know, and I'm like, I'm going to let this one's actually, I'm calling it a special episode, so this one's going to go for however long it fucking goes. It is what it is. But on a serious note, Frosty wrote a hell of a piece. Again, hey guys, do you want us to do this? And nah, dude, Frosty, you're he did not write it in crayon. I was actually impressed.
Well, you should see all the crayon on my screen, though.
Yeah, I explained to him that when you use crayon on your computer screen, it doesn't make words. But he's not got there yet.
But he does a good job of leaking it off, because he does that at work too. So he gets it off there pretty good.
Got to clean up before the day shift comes in.
All right, so let me finish. While y'all talk, I'm going to scroll through here and see the conversations that we had and see if there's any other things that we had missed.
Well, I think you touched on it there, Frosty. You mentioned about, us coming together as veterans. What can we do? Like I said, we're stabbing each other in the back right now. We're calling each other. We're having private chats in the comment sections about other groups. What can we do to stop that and actually come together? I mean, I'm at blank. I mean, I really am. I'm drawing the blank at why we're even doing this, how we're even doing this. It kind of ticks you off. You know what I'm saying? That this is actually happening. But I'm looking for inputs.
Yeah, it's one of those that where I got that original thought. They put it like, hey, these groups need to come together, but we got to figure out a way to work with either the groups in our own areas, the ones, the bigger groups that cover nationwide, worldwide, whatever, and figure out how we can communicate to help.
All right, so I just read through everything, and we've actually discussed 95% of what we've personally seen in the last couple of weeks. And it's been going on longer than that, but just things that we actually specifically pointed out to each other. My whole thing is, if group A, B, and C don't like each other, it doesn't matter. Leave each other alone. If you see that there is a person in your circle as a fan or an admin, either or, that's just malicious, then even if you hate the motherfuckers that you are stalking with a vengeance because you hate them so much that you want to, and you see that person in there, give the group a heads up. That person needs shut down. If there is a person that is in group A and you have to ban him because he's just that horrible, but then you see group B who you despise, warn group B. Don't talk about group B. Just message the admin and say, hey, I know we don't get along, but here's a screenshot of what this fool did. I'm just letting you know so you can watch them. Because when you shut down these people and they get banned from every group, they're going to get tired of it. You, as a group or an individual, if as a single page, Nevermore is just, the original Nevermore Facebook page is just me for right now. But if I see something going on in another group that I don't like, I'm just going to keep going on about my life. I'm going to look back and go, well, their mission is they like to make vets laugh. I can't knock that. Now, if some group starts up and their entire mission on this planet is to treat vets bad, of course I'm going to go after it. There's a difference between freedom of speech and you're just, I mean, to me, it's just racist is not the word I'm looking for. There's another word.
Malicious?
Prejudice against a veteran group. Of course I'm going to talk to other vets and be like, hey, dude, we really need to do something about this group. They're being prejudiced to veterans. Like, I've seen groups come up that say every person who ever served is nothing but a baby killer and after oil. Okay. And they don't last long. But veterans band together to get rid of that shit, but yet we can't band together to become a better community.
We're not saying...
if somebody attacks a vet or veterans as a whole, have you noticed that group A, B, and C will come together to tear that group apart, but they can't get along to make the community better? That's the funny shit that cracks me up. And I don't mean funny, ha-ha. I mean, 95% of the time I'm left scratching my head going, okay, we just did this together, but now let's go back to, well, you're wearing a so-and-so shirt, so I can't stand you. Oh, you support so-and-so, so I don't like you. You're drinking the wrong fucking coffee, and you're a liberal. There are liberal vets out there that can take the shit that we dish out. Not all of them are easily offended snowflakes. You know, I have got a couple of docs that I know that are pretty fucking liberal, but they still like guns and they still like this and this. Now they will come back and be like, we've had actual long, meaningful debates about certain things like, well, I guess I'm going to have to use an example. The transgender community, you know, there was a ban put on it, and they explained things from their liberal perspective, which is a little bit more than other people's perspective. And it was a great argument. At the end, I still didn't agree, but I understood where they were coming from, and we did it as grown-ups. You know what I'm saying? But the three of us can't fix everybody else. We can only keep doing what we've been doing. And if PTS Dog needs support, go support them. And if NFG needs support, go support them. And not even because they're a sponsor. They're actually a friend of mine. But, you know, or Bo needs help, but I've got to do Frag out. We're trying to be the example. But I'm tired of being the exception. We shouldn't be the exception. We're the example and the exception. We should only be the example. There shouldn't be any exceptions to banding together.
And to go with that, we're not saying you can't have...
You can dislike them.
Well, even beyond that, the fun sibling rivalry, which what I saw, since I'm new to this side of the house, the podcast, the behind-the-scenes portion...
I'm going to interrupt real quick, though. That's why I like this take and why I didn't put it on you, but let you roll with this, because I've been an admin before. Oink has been behind the scenes and now is on DV Radio on Saturday nights at 9 Eastern. Plug. And, you know, you were in the audience. All right? And the funny part is, guys, that y'all don't understand about Frosty is when he said, hey, I'll try this, but I don't think I'm going to fit. Dude, I don't know how this happened. It was a suggestion from Bo. He's like, you know, I've been meaning, you know, because I didn't know at the time that Frosty had been helping him on the DL. But I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And you know, I talked to Oink the first show we did. He had me laughing until my sides hurt and I was crying because he said, put the dead woman that the man drove across country naked, put the woman upright, for fuck's sake. And I've never gotten over that. But he gets to see things because he's not embedded in the other side of the veteran world. He's been a fan looking in, and I don't remember what that's like because it's been so long. I've been on the admin side for almost 4 years now in one form or another. So this is really cool getting to see it from him. And now I'll let you finish your thought of now that I'm coming in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this was something that I used to see it occasionally, but you kind of just, yeah, whatever, scroll right by. I was one of those, I ignored it. It wasn't a big deal. But now being on this side of the house, it's standing out a lot more. And I don't know whether it's just happening more or it's just because I'm now having to think from this other angle, whether I'm just noticing it more. And it really started to bug me, especially when you hear it being called out on other places. And then I felt it was a good thing it needed blown up and thrown out in the front. It's like, hey, quit being assholes to each other and let's work together to get these issues taken care of.
And like I said, and when he brought up the subject, it was because he had shared a group or page. And I was like, look, man, they don't support anybody but themselves. And this came from personal experience. And I said, look, this is what they did to me. And I'm not going to go in because it could possibly give away whom. But he's like, man, it's really as bad as I've been thinking. I had this frag out idea. And now that you have said that this is what happened, it really is happening more. Like I said, I don't know if it's more or if just lately it's gotten on my nerves so bad I'm noticing it more. I'm with you. I don't know if it's like becoming the norm or what's going on with it, but oh my God.
And like I said, we're not trying to say don't have the fun. I mean, I remember when I was first really kind of starting to follow all these pages, and since you've already mentioned them both several times, the disgruntled and dysfunctional back in the day used to, I mean, I guess you could call them fire missions, but they're really more in jest back and forth between two of the main hosts or admins.
Yeah. When they're picking on each other. Yeah.
But it was all in fun.
Yeah. I wouldn't call that a fire mission. What I call, let me real quick clarify what a fire mission is. Okay. It's one thing if I take some kind of meme, that's a pig and say this is DV Oink, in a mud bath. Okay. That's not a fire mission. That's literally a tease and jest because everybody knows that Oink and I are friends.
And she has cameras in my bathroom.
I'm creepy like that. And everybody knows that Chappie from Disgruntled and DV6 from Dysfunctional, they pick back and forth. Dysfunctional picked up Disgruntled when they were like 6,000. Had like 6,000 likes and have mentored. So yeah, they do things back and forth. Like they did this whole joke about being hacked and this and that. But a fire mission is when somebody is walking by, and I'm going to use PTS Dog for this one. He's given me permission. I have his consent. But we got in a video about a service dog, and the woman recorded them being denied access, supposedly, because the front part, it's amazing how these videos always start off after it looks in favor of the person. But they literally start videoing the police as they're talking to them. Now, their story and the video were nowhere near matches, but it was they showed all of the officers' names. They showed where they worked. They showed their faces. And that is a fire mission. When you video somebody to publicly make sure that they go viral to do harm to them or their business, that is a fire mission. Another example is on Disgruntled. We used to get them all the time. It would be Joe Blow in uniform and something would be going on, or he'd be doing something dumb, and they would want us to post it, make them famous. Why? Or they would send in like an act, after a shooting had happened. Well, this motherfucker needs to make famous. But why? Why do you want to make the bad guy famous? Or why do you want to make this private? Why do you want to shame this person? So there's a difference between a friendly rivalry and just flat out, you need it to go viral.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure how else to phrase those little, some of those ones that were going back and forth, because it was like, everybody go over here and let them know that Operation Blue Falcon's in process or whatever.
We'll call it a friendly rivalry.
A friendly fire mission.
Basically what they do that for is because, that's how you help pages grow.
Yeah.
is by sharing them. So if you send all of your fans over there to say, ask him about his big green weenie, then you're helping them grow while picking on them. It's basically sibling rivalry.
Yeah. I just wasn't quite sure how to phrase that and where it fit. But yeah, it is a friendly sibling rivalry.
I just don't want people to think that there's some kind of beef going on, because you know how people will take 2 words and run it. So I didn't mean to cut Frosty off, but I wanted to explain. It's not like that.
I knew it wasn't a negative fire mission. I just couldn't figure out the right words to make it.
It's basically like between the branches. You know, we all have our certain little quirks that we all do and you know, pick on each other for, but at the end of the day, if you see a Marine getting picked, which has never happened, but if you see an Air Force guy get picked on, you're going to have the Marine who's going to have his back. You know that's going to be there because of the camaraderie, that sense of bondship.
And see, that's what's funny, though. That's what kills me. It can be Group A and Group B, Group C getting picked on, and all 3 will jump in and make sure that Group C is safe, but then afterwards beat each other down. That fucking kills me. Mm-hmm. On that note, because this is going to be an extended show, and this is a special edition, for both's sake, we are going to take another break. You know, in case I need to check the camera to see if Oink's going to go pee yet or not. But anyway.
I'm not snoring. I'm not snoring yet. We're good.
We'll be right back after whatever messages are worded in here. Thank you for listening to listening to DV Radio on WDVR. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WDVR on dvradio.net. Dispatch, car 54.
Go ahead, 54.
I'm going to be 1196 with a white Ford pickup truck. Driver was 505 on Highway 68.
10-4. Car 54 is 1196 for a 505 on 68.
10-4 dispatch will update. Do you know why I stopped you today, sir? Because I had some whiskey and bad decisions from KBarSoapCo.com, and you can have it too. Made exclusively with Leadslingers whiskey and all the gun-toting Bald Eagle Warrior Screaming Glory that comes with it. Now stop smelling like Halle and add some whiskey to your skin with whiskey and bad decisions from KBarSoapCo.com. Sir, I think I'm gonna have to grab me a bar or even a 6-pack. Excuse me.
Car 54, respond. Car 54? Where are you? Car 54. Car 54. What's DV Radio?
DV Radio is for you, the veteran, active duty service member, caregiver, and civilian supporter of the military. DVRadio.net is the online veteran network made for and by veterans. From original shows to syndication, you can find it here on DVRadio.net. In an effort to continue our mission and make better quality shows for each and every one of you, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/DVRadio. Whether you can only pledge $1 per month or that entire $1 million inheritance your uncle left you, there's a tier with rewards waiting for you. So why not keep DV Radio running and get rewarded at the same time? Head to patreon.com/DV Radio now. That's patreon.com/DV Radio.
DV Radio.
And welcome back to the special edition of Frag Out, Drag Out. I'm Nevermore, and we still have Oink and Frosted Flakes with us. He's going to have a new name each and every time. Wait till you see the fudge sickle. Yeah. Anywho, so this has been an extended show just because the topic we were discussing, we knew it was going to be a little bit more time consuming, and we also wanted to make sure our sponsors got included. And y'all are going to be hearing that every show. You know, if they're going to help raise funds for DV Radio, they need to get their props. Yeah, I added in Little Dude just because I love the little guys. What 12-year-old wants to start his own business? I think that's badass. Anywho, so
20-year-old that still needs a job.
Exactly, right? So we're going to do final thoughts on this whole why are we being our own worst enemy, tearing our own selves down. We've given examples. We've not bashed anybody in particular. We just want everyone that is in this community, whether you're a dependent or you're a civilian or whatever, to sit and think, is what you're doing right now online tearing down the other person? And it doesn't even have to be a vet. Or are you helping build that person up? I'm actually in a group, and it's mostly females. I'm not going to mention that group name. It's nothing to do with vets, nothing like that. And one of the main things that the group focuses on is women are really bad about tearing each other down. Like, there's a lot of jelly. So one of the things that they focus on is when they post, everybody put a good thing in there. If you've got nothing good to say, you just don't comment. If you break those rules, you don't get to stay in this group. So, like, say a female posts that she got her hair done, but now she feels ugly. You'll see a lot of people get in there and go, no, you're beautiful. I'm sorry that somebody said that to you, but you're sweet.
Your hairdresser sucked. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But it's literally the only thing they do is post positive. And I know that no veteran group is going to be all positive because our world sucks sometimes. There's a lot going on with us. And I know people do have bad days where their PTSD or their TBI or whatever is getting the worst of them, or they're disabled and they're stuck in a wheelchair and they're just having a day and they lash. I get that. It happens. And somebody says something and it rubs you the wrong way, and you comment back and it's mean or whatever. But I actually see veterans tell other veterans, well, supposed veterans, I don't DD 214 every motherfucker that's on it. That's just, I don't have time for that. But I've literally seen, I want to end it today, and somebody go, just go ahead and do it. The fuck? Or everything sucks. Well, it's because you're a horrible person. You don't know them. What if your comment is the straw that broke the camel's back? I always tell people words are more powerful than what you think. You think, oh, I'm just being a troll, making a comment on a post to be funny. Words hurt worse than a lot of other things. And I'm not saying, oh, well, that means you're being a snowflake. Some days, the weight of the world is carried on your shoulders. And one more thing, just one more, when all you want is something nice to happen or something good or a positive vibe, or even though I make fun of this because I'm always going, thoughts and prayers, that does a lot of good, but that's what you want. Why do you have to be the person that steps in and is the one that rains on the parade? Just keep going. Just fucking keep going. I don't fucking get it. I just don't know why we can't be the person. If each person, I'm guilty too. We're all guilty of it. Sometimes you just can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. But if that's all you've got to do and that's all you spend your time doing, well, I mean, I don't get what your point is. Get off social media if it's that bad on you. And I get that there are people out there that like to consider themselves professional trolls and they do it just to be doing it. But really, man, I don't know. How are we going to ever going to unite our community? We've given you all the tools and we've given you all the clues. We can't make you do it. Oink said, how are we going to do it? Because we're going to keep speaking out against it. That's how we're going to do it. We're not going to beat the hell out of this topic every single show, but if something else comes up that really, really we don't understand, it's going to be brought up. We're not going to try to do it every show. We're going to try to keep it, interesting, but frag out's happen, bro. Frag out's happen. We'll start with Oink. So I don't over talk anybody. Oink, you got any last thoughts on this subject?
I I was actually looking up articles about veterans and what we can do and what we need to know. And found one on stripes.com dated May 29th from 2013. What do we need to know about veterans? And one of the little paragraphs or 2 paragraphs here was written by Elizabeth O'Haron, a military scholar. And I'll quote her here in this, and you can either agree or disagree. But she says, quote, "We joined the military for many reasons. We enlisted because we came up hearing stories of service, sacrifice, and adventures for those who came before us. We signed up to get out of the dead-end small towns because we wanted to be challenged to our core. We raised our right hands to escape communities rife with drugs and gangs because we wanted to be part of something bigger than ourselves, to pay for college, or because we felt guilty standing by during a time of war. We immigrated to America for a better life, and we were given a fair shot at that dream and decided to serve so others may follow. We are rural farm kids, street smart, the privileged, and we have served together. We are a vibrant cross-section of America woven tighter than anyone could comfortably choose. We have been stripped away of our daily comforts, even our own choice of clothes, and we have learned that we are only as strong as our weakest link. We are separated from our loved ones and have only strangers next to us, and we must learn to work together, or else people will die. And if America listens, our wisdom will make her wiser because of these experiences." I think she pretty much nailed everything right there in those 2 little paragraphs. We all are, put together, whether we liked it or not, whether we choose to or not. We all raised our hand. We are a volunteer force. And to see what we've gone from to what we're going to now, of ripping each other apart, it's saddening. It really is. And I wish it, we didn't have to be this way. So, we're going to take a stand. We're going to throw these frags out, and you're not going to like it. But it is what it is. Until this stuff stops, sorry.
All right. And I 100% agree. Frosty, any last thoughts since this is your frag out?
Well, I think Oink topped what I was going to have here, but, I was going to read a little bit from the little essay that I'm going to have posted up there.
Go ahead.
It says, "You may not agree with one group's approach, philosophy, or whatnot, but if it helps save just one veteran or one life, I consider it successful. Maybe it's that meme that catches someone just right that day. Maybe it's someone from a group reaching out to another brother or sister that they haven't seen or heard from in a while. Maybe it's that shirt with a message you may not approve of, but it helps that one veteran feel confident enough to go out and face the world that day. Maybe it's that post to a group that leads you to a service animal that assists you in your daily activities. Maybe it's how that page or podcast actually is therapy for that host or admin. All these things have different meanings to the people that do them, and just reach out and help each other. Think twice before you post that comment. And is it helpful or is it destructive? Reach out to your brothers and sisters, and let's see if we can get this taken care of.
And my last thought is, I'm going to give a prime example of what Frosty just wrote. When I got diagnosed with the trigeminal neuralgia, which is extremely painful nerve disease in my face, and I realized that stress is one of the number 1 triggers. When I saw that I wasn't able to stay with disgruntled, which was my form of therapy at the time, when I saw that it was becoming to the point to where I was ineffective and couldn't do it anymore and had to walk away, I lost my drive. Like, I sat around so used to being, and it's not a Facebook thing or anything like that, but I sat around so used to being in the admin chats or talking to the vets on the page when I wasn't having a good day. So when I finally came up with, well, you know what, since I can't do the suicide prevention thing anymore the way I still do it on occasion. I still help out PTS Dog, but since I couldn't do it on a full-time basis because it was literally destroying my health, I got severely depressed. This podcast is my outlet. You may not like what I've done. You may think everything about it is just horrible or a joke or whatever, and that's great, but keep your fucking opinion to yourself. You don't know why somebody's doing something, and it's honestly no one's fucking business, but since he brought it up, I'm going to throw in an example. When this airs and when this 2-page essay in crayon comes out, I hope that the ones listening that are rolling their eyes or the ones going, who are they talking about? Oh, if for some reason it makes you stop and think, then we've done what we set out to do, and that's why Frag Out, Drag Out's here. So on that note, because I'm trying to type and like do a show too, which I cannot do two things at once, we're going to do our closings for the show. Off topic, Oink, do you have anything else not on related to this subject, but just in general?
No, I mean, it just, it is upsetting to a lot of us, a lot of veterans, to see this go on. You know, for so long we've stuck together, and to have this come between us, something as petty as likes, something as petty as, you know, I did this, look at me. It's saddening. It really is. I'm hoping by us drawing, you know, attention to this, it brings it to the forefront, and, you know, maybe some of you will think twice. At least I hope. You know, if not, well, piss off.
There you have it, Frosty.
Like we said before, if you got ideas that you want us to just throw out there and brag out, or I don't care if it's something hilarious or if it's a real serious topic.
Did he just get far away? Frosty, come to the mic.
Sorry, I had to move it for a second.
I thought you were pooping.
No, that was right before.
Swear to God, he took us to the bathroom.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Comes full
Maybe
circle.
next week. No, what I was saying is if you have an idea that you really want us to try and hash out or put out there, whether it be something completely hilarious.
Well, now we completely.
Sorry, wrong button.
Completely hilarious.
I sixed it here. Completely hilarious or serious or whatever. Throw it out there. Send us the message on our Facebook page, Frag Out, Drag Out, and we'll see if we can hash it out for you.
Yeah, not every Frag Out, Drag Out show is going to be hard-hitting or serious. There may be some shows where we don't do an actual segment Frag Out. And our Frag Out means that it's something that nobody wants to talk about or something that we feel like needs to be brought to attention. Not every show is going to be like that. Hell, I mean, we've talked about the Area 51 raid, but if there's something going on in the world that you just nobody discusses, and you want to hear it from us, we'll do it. Unless it's something weird like penis sizes, I don't have a penis, so I can't really discuss it, so I really can't help you out there, but...
Yeah, in my situation, it'd be a short topic, short discussion.
But on a serious note, since, we've beat this dead horse and there's nothing more we can say, I'm just going to thank y'all for listening. Tune in next show, next week, whatever. Catch us on podcast, which is on a lot of places, and I'm going to make Oink list those because, like I said, he's been on DV Radio a lot more lately than me.
Check him out on Podbean. That's the one that I use most of the time besides the Apple, iTunes, stuff like that. So we're out there.
Yep. And with that, since this was a rough show, we will say reach out if you need to. If you reach out to us, you're going to get referred, or we may talk to you. We don't know. We don't know. It just depends on what we're comfortable with. But be safe, fuckers, and start supporting each other, not just your battle buddies. Why don't you go lift up? I'm not saying you got to go around happy as hell and telling everybody they smile pretty or whatever, but just do something nice once a day. Shit, something. You never know what difference it'll make in somebody's life. And with that, be safe. Thank you for listening to Frag Out, Drag Out on DV Radio. brought to you on WDVR. And with that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
DV Radio.